Matt Devlin, Brent Barry, and we are joined by the president of the Denver Nuggets, Josh Kroenke. And before we get into your offseason, let's talk about Jordan Hamilton and that opening quarter that he had. I mean, break it down for us right here, Josh.
You know, he came out aggressive. You know, he's been the last few days he's been playing with a heavy heart. One of his cousins passed away. He went home yesterday. Wasn't in our game last night. Was a pallbearer in the funeral. Got back. You know, everybody handles situations like that differently. And Jordan, I know he's been disappointed in the way he's played the first few games, but to see him come out and be aggressive like that, I think is big for him.
Yeah, obviously prayers to his family and everybody around that situation, and for him to come back here with a great release, to come back and just not think about those things for a while and think about playing. And he's done a great job for you guys in the first half. Let's talk about moving forward for Jordan Hamilton. And this year, obviously, with Andre Iguodala's departure, how much that opens up opportunities at that small forward position for what you guys are going to get started with Gallo maybe not coming back, maybe December at the earliest, possibly February, who knows, but obviously minutes available there.
There's a lot of minutes available right now. I think it's going to be a good, healthy competition, and you know, we'll see who can rise to the top. But I think with both Evan and Jordan, there's a tremendous opportunity that's in front of them both with Andre Iguodala's departure, and there's going to be minutes available all over the place, especially with Gallo being down. And you know, for young players, you know, I'm sure you can relate to it at some point in your career where the opportunity is there. You got to grab the bull by the horns, and there's an opportunity in front of both those players right now, and I think that you know, they're both excited about it.
You know, when you go back and you take a look at this past year, 57 wins, franchise best, 38-3 at home. Unfortunately, you lose Gallinari to an injury. That certainly affected what happened in the first round against Golden State. But then it appeared as though you had to make a difficult decision as far as where you wanted the direction of your organization. Just take us through that, and then obviously George Karl and the decision there.
Yes. You know, it was a wonderful season on a lot of levels, and I think that, you know, we had a tremendous regular season. 57 wins is a franchise record and something that we can all be very proud of. When Gallo went down, I knew that was going to change our fortune significantly because of the caliber player that Gallo is. And you know, we got to the playoffs. Not having Gallo out there hurt our half-court spacing quite a bit, and you know, it was a situation where it was very tough because I don't think that some of our fans may have understood initially that you know, it was a very difficult decision for me to make, obviously coming off the success. But I have a very good relationship with Coach Karl. I've known him since I was in high school, and you know, it was a contractual situation with George. He was heading into the last year, and we started to kind of have discussions there about the future. And you know, whether it was the last year or, you know, kind of everyone kind of talks about the lame duck status of a coach, and a coach of George's caliber didn't need to be in limbo like that if I wasn't for sure if it was the right thing for us long term. And so I decided to give us a definitive direction right now. That was very tough to do, but I'm really excited about Coach Shaw. I think he brings a different element to our team, especially with our young players, and you know, the things that they've accomplished over the last few years in Indiana with you know, the Lance Stevensons of the world, Paul George, Roy Hibbert. I see a lot of similarities in between our roster and where they were a few years ago, and I hope that Coach Shaw can help take us to where they were this year.
Josh, when you had a chance to sit down and really pick Brian's brain and about his experience in Indiana, how much better a coach does Brian feel he is, having not taken a job immediately out of Los Angeles, where there was talk about Brian Shaw potentially as the head coach in this league? He goes to Indiana and has a couple of great seasons there, and then this opportunity comes up. How much under Coach Vogel those two seasons made him feel like he learned that much more about the game?
Yeah, I mean, he speaks the world of Coach Vogel. I think he had a wonderful experience in Indiana. And you know, it's good to gain perspective in anything, whether it's sports or in life in general. I think that the more experiences you have, the better perspective that you have. And I think that Brian, you know, being with a coach like Coach Vogel gave him a different perspective on how to possibly coach a game, because he's been out with Coach Jackson for several years. And I think the more you get, the more it's going to benefit you, no matter what it is.
Josh, as far as the style of play, Austin Rivers out on the break with a two-handed slam, 51-42. As far as style of play, everybody understands the history of the Denver Nuggets organization and the style of play, obviously, that's been encouraged. A lot of that due to the altitude. When you talk to Brian and when he sits down and talks to you, what are some of the things, maybe some of the differences moving forward that your style of play will be?
You know, we talked about a lot about style of play. You know, I wasn't bashful about it. I said, you know, Brian, I said, maybe it's just me, but there's a distinct advantage to being in the Mile High City, especially during the regular season. We like to get out, we like to run, we like to play fast, and I think that he echoed some of my comments, along with figuring out ways to make us better in the half court, because in the playoffs the game slows down quite a bit, and not to say that we weren't good in the half court before, but I think that there were certain things that our guys wanted to be better at in the half court, whether it's in the pick and roll game, and then on the defensive end, I think that we're really ready to make a stride there as well. Our guys are fired up. We've always been a decent defensive team, but we struggled guarding the three-point line at times, and that really showed in the playoffs with the exceptional shooting that Golden State had.
Indiana played at such a breakneck pace there in the Eastern Conference. It's going to be a good thing for you guys.
Indiana West. Any conversation with respect to the triangle?
Yeah, we talked about it briefly, but I want to let the coach at the end of the day, and we talked about different systems and what he thought was going to be beneficial to our roster, and we have a very young team, we have a very athletic team, and he kind of flat out said, he goes, I'd be dumb to not take advantage of our athleticism, because I think we do have some good young athletes that are really hungry to get out there and play and make a name for themselves, and they're hungry to take the next step as a team, and as individuals and as a team, and I think that it's going to be a lot of fun in the future years.
I know it was a difficult decision for Masai Ujiri to leave Denver to go to Toronto, but ultimately that decision of him deciding to leave Denver to go to Toronto, how much did that play into your ultimate decision on changing the course of direction for your organization?
They were two decisions that were independent of each other. Masai and I had different conversations throughout the year about the team, the direction of the team, and when he departed, I knew I had a decision in front of me, and Coach Karl and I just sat down. We talked through several different scenarios, and but there were two decisions that were independent of one another. I saw Masai here the other day. It's great to catch up with him, and that's the best part about Summer League, is running into everybody and getting a chance to catch up.
Eric Green has played well.
Very well. Eric, he struggled, the first few games. He was a scorer in college. There's going to be an adjustment to the pro game, and kind of in the first game, Tim Conley and I were talking about it after the game. But he came out, he tried to be kind of a pure point guard, and we just said, hey man, have fun. You need to be you. You don't need to be somebody else. You'll figure out the rest of it at another time. But just be you, have fun, and play ball. And that's really what we're about. We're about having fun, playing basketball, and always attacking, having fun, and running.
And how about Quincy Miller?
Quincy, it's good to see Quincy out there playing. He was one of the top high school players in the country several years ago. I see Anthony Davis sitting over there. They were in the same high school class. And Quincy, he tore his ACL his senior year of high school, went down to Baylor, had a decent year down at Baylor, but there were a few different scares regarding his very lean. His knee wasn't 100% yet, and he's hit the weight room. He's grown up a lot over the last year since he came out of Baylor, and I think that the young players, you got to stay patient, and you got to stay patient. And Quincy's a worker. He's always in the gym, and so to be 6'10", have a little bit of a handle, be able to shoot it, and have a good work ethic. That's a pretty good start for a 20-year-old kid.
Jordan Hamilton now with 21 points on 7 of 13 shooting, guarding Rivers. Darius Miller driving, leaning, shot doesn't go, tapped up. And a whistle and a foul is going to be charged to Kyle Barone. 56-46. Josh Kroenke, president of the Denver Nuggets. Thank you very much for joining us. Really
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All the best.